Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Valsa Williams and with me is VC Pramod with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to virtually distribute records of land right papers to beneficiaries in Madhya Pradesh tomorrow. India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage crosses 91 crore mark. Recovery rate stands at 97.93%. Kerala witnesses considerable dip in new COVID cases. Bharatiya Janata Party registers a landslide victory in local body elections in Gujarat. Textiles Ministry approves continuation of comprehensive handicrafts cluster development scheme. Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia releases UNICEF's global flagship publication detailing significant impact of COVID-19 pandemic on children's mental health. Nobel Prize for Physics goes to 3 scientists for climatic discoveries. 5th edition of India-Japan Maritime Bilateral Exercise to begin in Arabian Sea from tomorrow. And in IPL cricket, Mumbai Indians win toss and put Rajasthan Royals to bat in Sharjah. As the nationwide free COVID-19 vaccination campaign at government facilities for those above 18 years is underway, we advise our young listeners to get vaccinated and also help others get vaccinated. We also advise our listeners not to lower their guard as COVID-19 remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011 2397 8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. The Prime Minister will interact with beneficiaries of Swamitva scheme in Madhya Pradesh tomorrow through video conferencing. Mr. Modi will also distribute e-property cards to 1,71,000 beneficiaries under the scheme. More from our Bhopal correspondent.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will virtually distribute the records of land rights papers to beneficiaries tomorrow under the Pradhan Mantri Swamitva Yojana. The land records papers will be distributed in 3,000 villages of 19 districts as part of Jan Kalyan and Suraj Abhiyan of the state. Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan will also address the program. Revenue Minister of the state Govind Singh Rajput informed that the rules of the survey have been simplified as per present requirements in order to provide maximum benefits of the scheme to the beneficiaries. Pooja Pivardhan, AIR News, Bhupal.
Swamitva is a central sector scheme of the Ministry of Panchayati Raj that aims to provide property rights to the residents of rural inhabited areas. The scheme will pave the way for using property as a financial asset by villagers for taking loans and other financial benefits like in urban areas. It aims to demarcate inhabited lands in rural areas through the latest surveying drone technology. The scheme has also provided a boost to the ecosystem of drone manufacturing in the country. The Prime Minister today said over 3 crore poor families in the country became Lakhpati with the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana PMAY housing scheme. The Prime Minister was speaking at the inauguration function of the new Urban India Transforming Urban Landscape Conference cum Expo at Lucknow in Uttar Pradesh today.
पीएम आवास योजना शहरी की तहत केंद्र सरकार ने करीब 1 लाख करोड़ रुपए गरीबों के बैंक खाते में ट्रांसफर किए। मेरे जो साथी जिनके पास पक्की छत नहीं थी, ऐसे 3 करोड़ परिवारों को इस कार्यकाल में एक ही योजना से लखपति बनने का अवसर मिल गया है।
The 3-day conclave on the subject is being organized at the Indira Gandhi Pratishthan in Lucknow as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav celebrations. He said more than 80% owners of the houses under PMAY Urban are women and the UP government is giving rebate of registration fee in case of a woman buyer.
PM आवास योजना के तहत जो घर दिए जा रहे हैं, उनमें 80% से ज्यादा घरों पर मालिकाना हक महिलाओं का है या फिर वो ज्वाइंट ओनर है। यूपी सरकार ने तो 10 लाख रुपए तक की राशि के घरों की रजिस्ट्री कराने पर स्टैंप ड्यूटी में महिलाओं को 2% की छूट भी दी जा रही है.
In his speech, the Prime Minister said that people of Uttar Pradesh understand the difference better between the UP before 2017 and UP after 2017. Now, Uttar Pradesh has the willpower for urban development. The Prime Minister said his government has made efforts to solve the problems of the middle class by bringing RERA into action so that the middle class can buy their dream house. On the occasion, the Prime Minister launched 75 urban projects for Uttar Pradesh. The Prime Minister handed over the keys of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana urban houses to 75,000 beneficiaries digitally in 75 districts of the state and also interacted with beneficiaries of the scheme.
Over 91 crore 54 lakh COVID vaccine doses have been administered so far in the country. A total of 18,346 new cases were reported in the last 24 hours. Active cases account for less than 1% of the total cases, lowest since March last year. The recovery rate is currently at 97.93%. Over 29,639 recoveries were reported in the last 24 hours. Kerala witnessed a considerable dip in COVID figures as it confirmed 9,735 new COVID positive cases today. A total of 93,202 samples were tested in the last 24 hours. The test positivity rate is 10.44% at present. 151 deaths were also confirmed due to COVID today, taking the death toll to 25,677. Bringing respite, 13,878 recoveries were also reported. At present, 1,24,441 is the active caseload in the state.
In West Bengal, the government today issued guidelines for the upcoming Durga Puja, keeping in view the safety measures due to the pandemic. In compliance with the order of the Calcutta High Court, the Puja committees have been asked to keep the pandals spacious and open from all sides. Separate entry and exit gates with prominent floor marking to be there to ensure physical distancing norms. Puja organizers have been asked to make masks and hand sanitizers available for the visitors. Cultural programs in and around Puja pandals will not be allowed, and the immersion carnival usually organized by the state government has also been cancelled for this year. The Karnataka state government has issued guidelines for Dussehra and Durga Puja celebrations. All district administrations have been asked to implement the guidelines in letter and spirit. Exempting Mysuru, other districts have been asked to ensure that not more than 400 people gather to celebrate Dussehra and Durga Puja. In Mysuru, 500 people will be allowed for cultural programs, 100 persons on Chamundi Hills and 500 persons for Jambu Savari or elephant procession on Vijayadashmi Day.
Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandavya today released UNICEF's global flagship publication, The State of the World's Children 2021, On My Mind, Promoting, Protecting and Caring for Children's Mental Health in New Delhi today. The report details the significant impact of COVID-19 pandemic on children's mental health. Describing the significance of the report, which focuses on mental health, Mr. Mandavya said that mental health is both an old issue and an emerging one. The Health Minister highlighted that COVID-19 was a test of mental stress for the entire society. He recounted his personal experience as the Pharmaceuticals Minister during the second surge of COVID-19. He said yoga, deep breathing and cycling helped him to overcome the stress. The Minister acknowledged that it is very vital to address mental health as an important aspect for creating a healthy society. As per the report, around 14% of 15 to 24-year-olds in India, or 1 in 7 of them, reported often feeling depressed or having little interest in doing things. In Gujarat, the ruling Bharatiya Janata Party has registered a landslide victory in general, midterm and by-elections of local bodies. According to official sources, BJP has retained power in Gandhinagar Municipal Corporation by winning 41 seats out of the total 44 seats. Congress won 2 seats while Aam Aadmi Party got 1. BJP also swept Thara and Okha municipalities while Congress got majority in Bhanwad municipality. In district panchayat by-elections, BJP also won 5 seats and Congress won 3 out of the 8 seats. Similarly, in Taluka panchayat by-elections, BJP won 28 out of 45 seats. Polling was held on Sunday. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that results of the local body polls across Gujarat and Gandhinagar Municipal Corporation reaffirm the deep-rooted bond between the people of Gujarat and the BJP. In a tweet, Mr. Modi expressed gratitude to the people for repeatedly blessing the party. He lauded the efforts of all Gujarat BJP Karyakartas for working hard at the grassroots.
Congress today announced its candidates for the ensuing Lok Sabha and Assembly by polls in different states. Party has fielded Pratibha Veerbhadra Singh for Mandi Lok Sabha in Himachal Pradesh and Raj Narayan Singh Purni for Khandwa Lok Sabha in Madhya Pradesh. Party has given ticket to Mahesh Patel for Jobat Assembly seat in Madhya Pradesh, Sanjay Avasthi for Arki seat in Himachal Pradesh, Rajesh Kumar Mishra for Tarapur seat in Bihar and PM Kamalamma from Badwel seat in Andhra Pradesh.
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to virtually distribute records of land right papers to beneficiaries in Madhya Pradesh tomorrow. India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage crosses the 91 crore mark. Recovery rate stands at 97.93%. Kerala witnesses considerable dip in new COVID cases. Bharatiya Janata Party registers a landslide victory in local body elections in Gujarat. Textiles Ministry approves continuation of comprehensive handicrafts cluster development scheme. Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia releases UNICEF's global flagship publication detailing significant impact of COVID-19 pandemic on children's mental health. Nobel Prize for Physics goes to 3 scientists for climatic discoveries. 5th edition of India-Japan Maritime Bilateral Exercise to begin in the Arabian Sea from tomorrow. And in IPL cricket, Mumbai Indians win toss and put Rajasthan Royals to bat in Sharjah. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
स्वाधीनता संग्राम के वे निशान जो साक्षी हैं हमारे सेनानियों के संघर्ष और बलिदान के। आकाशवाणी समाचार ला रहा है विशेष श्रृंखला निशान। हर बुधवार को शाम 4:45 पर कार्यक्रम परिक्रमा में FM गोल्ड 100.1 मेगाहर्ट्ज पर।
Welcome back to the evening news. The Ministry of Textiles has approved continuation of Comprehensive Handicrafts Cluster Development Scheme with a total outlay of 160 crore rupees. The scheme will continue up to March 2026. Infrastructural support, market access, design and technology upgradation support will be provided to handicrafts artisans under this scheme. Comprehensive Handicrafts Cluster Development Scheme aims to create world-class infrastructure that caters to the business needs of the local artisans and small and medium-sized enterprises to boost production and export. The Government of India has received about 1,426 crore rupees from Coal India Limited as dividend in this financial year recently. Secretary, Department of Investment and Public Asset Management in a tweet said the Government of India has received about 1,406 crore rupees from Oil and Natural Gas Corporation ONGC as dividend. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has said the objective of the Modi government of the centre is to empower all the people of the country, especially the poor and weaker sections. Talking to reporters in Chhattisgarh capital Raipur, she said that whether it is Mudra Yojana or Stand Up India scheme, all schemes and programs are aimed at empowering the people.
प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी के प्रायोरिटी रहा कि इस देश का डेवलपमेंटल एजेंडा जल्दी आगे बढ़े, क्योंकि हमारा बिलीफ है सबका साथ, सबका विकास, सबका विश्वास और सबका प्रयास भी होने में ही ये देश आगे बढ़ पाएगा। तो इस गाइडिंग प्रिंसिपल के साथ जब हम आगे बढ़ रहे हैं, डेवलपमेंट हर जगह पहुंचेगा और उस पहुंचने के कारण सबको उनके अपने अपने आर्थिक व्यवस्था में सुधार होगा। सो इट इज अ प्रिंसिपल विच इज बेस्ड ऑन एम्पावरिंग पीपल। सबको अपने विकास के रास्ते पर ले आओ और जब ले आएंगे उनको विकास के बेनिफिट मिलेगा, उससे वो भी आगे बढ़ पाएंगे।
During her one-day visit to Raipur, the Union Finance Minister participated in various events under the Seva or Samarpan program.
The National Health Authority (NHA) has revised the health benefit package of Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana ABPMJAY. In the revised version of the health benefit package HBP 2.2, rates of some health packages have been increased by 20% to 400%. The HBP 2.2 is expected to be rolled out from November this year. President Ramnath Kovind will be on a 3-day visit to Karnataka from tomorrow. On Thursday, Mr. Kovind will inaugurate the newly built teaching hospital of the Chamarajanagar Institute of Medical Sciences at Chamarajanagar. On Friday, the President will visit Dakshinayama Shri Sharada Peetham and Shankara Advait Research Center in Sringeri.
The Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has said that peace is the prerequisite for the progress in India, especially northeastern states. He, however, said that there will be no compromise on unity and integrity of India, while dialogues are held to restore peace. The Vice President was addressing the gathering after inaugurating phytopharmaceutical lab facility at Institute of Bioresource and Sustainable Development in Imphal this evening. Mr. Naidu said there should be no political differences while working on the progress for citizens of India, and all the state governments needs to work hand in hand with central government for this.
60% of the Indian population even today are living in the rural areas. So focus on rural development, focus on agriculture, focus on the weaker sections, suppress the depressed classes. That should be the priority for any government. And then I call upon the government to see the transparency, accountability, digitization followed by zero tolerance towards corruption. Corruption is the enemy of the people. It affects the development of the state or the people.
The Vice President said that Prime Minister Modi-led government has been trying its best to develop the entire Northeast India and Jammu and Kashmir. The Vice President arrived in Imphal this afternoon. He also held an interactive session with Olympians from Manipur this evening at Raj Bhavan, Imphal. He will be leaving for Tripura tomorrow. As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events are being organized by the government as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Let's listen now to our special program Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News, Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
The day of 5th October is the birth anniversary of freedom fighter Bajiraot. He was merely a 12-year-old boy when he fearlessly stood in front of a bunch of British sepoys, denying them service. Bajiraot was born in 1926 at the Neelkantpur village in Dhenkanal, Odisha. Son of Hari Raut, Baji was a boatman and volunteer of the Praja Mandal in the Dhenkanal state. He was responsible for the task of keeping vigil on the movement of the state police and troops at the Neelkantpur Ghat on the Brahmini river.
On the night of October 10th in 1938, a number of policemen and soldiers tried to force him to take them across the river in his boat. The 12-year-old boy refused to do so and told them they were enemies of the people. A soldier struck him on his head with the butt of his gun and his skull was fractured. Despite his serious injuries, he raised an alarm and warned the villagers about the arrival of the soldiers and policemen.
He died the same night due to excessive loss of blood. The bravery and patriotism of young Bajiraot has been immortalized in the poem Boatman by the famous Odia poet Sachi Rautarai.
On the day of 5th October in 1938, in Kerala, a serious and violent confrontation took place between the British armed force and freedom fighters at Kadakkal, a village about 48 kilometers north of Trivandrum. The arrest of some state Congress workers provoked the people very much. The situation of the area was already tense due to the exorbitant toll collected by the agents of the government from the market at Kadakkal, though its intensity was not so hard as in the nearby markets of Kallara, Pangode area. The state Congress workers of Kadakkal exhorted the people not to pay the toll. Also, they obstructed the sale of liquor.
On 29 September, the protesters stormed the police station in the area and the small police party sustained injuries. In view of the alarming strength and fury of the mob, the police temporarily withdrew to Kotarkara. The people had already seized the guns and swords kept in the station.
On 5th October, 2 platoons of military arrived at the area and suppressed the agitation with an iron hand. 13 houses were set on fire by the police and military. People were mercilessly beaten and tortured. Several cases were framed against the leaders and participants of the movement.
Also on 5th October 1943, a freedom fighter from Bihar, Binda Singh, was martyred. Binda Singh actively participated in the Quit India movement. He was arrested and seriously wounded in an assault by the police. Detained thereafter in Fulwari Sharif camp jail, he died there on 5th October on account of the police torture.
In a similar incident in Bengal, freedom fighter Shyama Charan Das attained martyrdom. Das belonged to the Bahadurpur village of Medinipur district. He was a political worker and took part in the Quit India movement. While participating in the volunteers' raid on the Bhagwanpur police station on 5th October 1942, he received bullet wounds in the police firing and died on the spot.
Today is also the death anniversary of Meherban Gwala. He belonged to the infantry regiment of the English East India Company. Gwala participated in the rebellion of 1857 and was arrested by the British East India Army at Shahabad, now in Bihar. Charged with the offence of mutiny, Gwala was sentenced to death on 5th October 1857.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in next episode tomorrow.
In the program Spotlight, we are broadcasting a special series, Seva aur Samarpan 20 Saal Shushasan Ke. Today the theme is social empowerment, including Divyang. It showcases the government initiatives to ensure the rights and opportunities of Divyangjan and other vulnerable sections of society under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The special program can be heard on FM Gold and additional frequencies from 9:15 p.m. onwards. This program will also be available on our website newsonair.gov.in and on our YouTube channel News on AIR Official. In our bilingual live phone-in program, Corona Jagrukta series, Dr. Ghanshyam Pangte, Professor of Medicine, LHMC, will be with us from 9:30 p.m. onwards. Listeners can ask questions to the experts on toll-free telephone number 1800-115767 and on telephone number 011-2331-4444. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today had a productive meeting with CEO and Managing Director of QS, Quacquarelli Cements Limited, Nunzio Quacquarelli. They discussed at length about aspects relating to the education sector.
U.S. Deputy Secretary of State Ms. Wendy Sherman arrived in New Delhi this evening on a 3-day visit to India. Ms. Sherman will meet Foreign Secretary Harshvardhan Shringla tomorrow to review the India-US bilateral agenda and outcomes of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's recent visit to the USA. They will exchange views on regional issues pertaining to South Asia and the Indo-Pacific region and contemporary global issues. The Nobel Prize for Physics has been awarded to scientists Syukuro Manabe, Klaus Hasselmann and Giorgio Parisi, whose groundbreaking work over the past 60 years predicted climate change and decoded complex physical systems. Manabe from Japan and Hasselmann from Germany laid the foundation of our knowledge of the Earth's climate and how humanity influences it. Italian physicist Parisi is rewarded for his revolutionary contributions to the theory of disordered materials and random processes.
Air Chief Marshal Vivek Ram Chaudhary today said the Indian Air Force is committed to the program and the initiative needs to be taken forward considering various key aspects involving the three forces. The Air Chief Marshal was addressing a press conference ahead of the Air Force Day on October 8th. He said IAF is fully committed to the ambitious program, adding that discussions are required before new structures are put in place. He said the joint planning and execution of operations by three services will result in a maximum increase in net combat capability. The 5th edition of India-Japan Maritime Bilateral Exercise JIMEX between the Indian Navy and the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force will be held in the Arabian Sea from tomorrow. JIMEX series of exercises commenced in January 2012 with special focus on maritime security cooperation. The last edition of JIMEX was conducted in September 2020. JIMEX 21 aims to develop common understanding of operational procedures and enhance interoperability through conduct of a multitude of advanced exercises across the entire spectrum of maritime operations. Naval cooperation between India and Japan has increased in scope and complexity over the years. JIMEX 21 will further enhance the cooperation and mutual confidence between the two navies and fortify the long-standing bond of friendship between the two countries.
The 8th edition of India-Sri Lanka bilateral joint exercise Mitra Shakti commenced today at the Combat Training School Ampara in Sri Lanka. The 2-week-long exercise is being conducted from the 4th to the 15th of this month. The Sensex and the Nifty today closed with gains. Both indices gained more than 0.7% amid mixed global cues. The Sensex reclaimed the 59,500 mark, while the Nifty regained 17,800 level. In IPL cricket, Rajasthan Royals were 71 for 6 in 15 overs against Mumbai Indians in Sharjah when reports last came in. Earlier, Mumbai Indians won the toss and put Mumbai to bat. Tomorrow, Royal Challengers Bangalore will take on Sunrisers Hyderabad in Zayed Cricket Stadium, Abu Dhabi at 7:30 p.m. Indian time. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. National capital Delhi will have partly cloudy sky. The temperature will vary between 26 and 35 degrees Celsius. Mumbai to have partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Minimum temperature will be 27 degrees. Maximum expected to be around 36. Chennai is expected to have thunderstorm with rain. Temperature will vary between 26 and 34 degrees. Kolkata will have partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. The city will observe a minimum temperature of 28 degrees, maximum of around 34. Bengaluru will have a generally cloudy sky with a few spells of rain or thunder showers. Temperature will hover between 21 and 30 degrees. Thiruvananthapuram will have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Guwahati will have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. And now before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to virtually distribute records of land right papers to beneficiaries in Madhya Pradesh tomorrow. India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage crosses 91 crore mark. Recovery rate stands at 97.93%. Kerala witnesses considerable dip in new COVID cases. Bharatiya Janata Party registers landslide victory in local body elections in Gujarat. Textiles Ministry approves continuation of comprehensive handicraft cluster development scheme. Nobel Prize for Physics goes to 3 scientists for climatic discoveries. 5th edition of India-Japan Maritime Bilateral Exercise to begin in Arabian Sea from tomorrow. And in IPL cricket, Mumbai Indians win toss and put Rajasthan Royals to bat in Sharjah. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.